Welcome back to FOXSOUL's Black Report. Well, the Kentucky Derby is set for this weekend, and this year also marks the 6th year for Derby Diversity Week.
That's right. Now, the goal of the week is to increase awareness around diversity and establish equity for all. Here to discuss Derby Diversity Week is one of this year's participants, Michael Blake, founder of Atlas Strategy Group and president of Next Level Sports and Entertainment. We want to welcome you.
Great to be with you. Thank you today.
Hey,
Indeed.
Brother Blake. So tell us, how did you become affiliated with Derby University Week? You're the former director of African American outreach for the White House under Obama, and former New York State Assembly member. How did you get affiliated with this Diversity Week?
I was connected through Jade Melvin, who is doing incredible work with Derby Diversity Week. It's led by Tawana Bain, and I've just seen transformational opportunities. And real talk, it's about showing how Black and brown people care about horse racing and care about the journey that's happening here. This should not be a space where we're only talking about Kentucky for the negative challenges that have happened, obviously with Breonna Taylor being most notable, but elevating our Black excellence. And so today we had an incredible panel around women in sports and demonstrating, whether it came from polo to soccer to football, how we have that footprint in addition to, of course, what's happening with horse racing. So shout out to Jay Melvin, shout out to Tawana Bain, shout out to all things that are happening in the next few days here at Derby Diversity Weekend. And if you can get to Louisville, get here, because I think you're going to love what's going on over these next few days.
Absolutely. So why is the Kentucky Derby such an important event, for the country? And then what is so significant about it in regards to opening it up and exposing our culture to it?
Well, this weekend is the 149th Kentucky Derby. And I learned even getting here, this Friday is the Oaks. So, it's the difference of the different races on both days. And look, I think from horse racing to lacrosse to golf, there's so many times that there's sports where we don't see our people. And so we have to shift that narrative. And so it was important for me to be here because we wanted people to understand that, Next Level Sports Entertainment, you have a nationally Black-owned sports TV network. You have Atlas Strategy Group, where we're helping implement equity and justice through sports and society. And so it was so important for us because at the end of the day, it is time for us to be the owners, the presidents, the executives, not just the athletes. Now, being an athlete is important and it's essential. Being the jockey is important and it's essential. But we need people to also understand that we run the show as well. And we can lead, and we can lead well. And it's not just going to happen in spaces that are predominantly and only Black. It's going to happen across the board. There was a great conversation that happened earlier around financial literacy that has to happen for the athletes. Do they come into all this money, but do they have the support that they need along that journey? Equally, how do we talk through the intersectionality that has to happen around social justice? Because again, you can't be here in Louisville and be Black and not think about what happened to Breonna Taylor. And so the duality of that, of saying we need to be here, we need to elevate our diversity, but we need to show people that you will see our greatness, not just on one day on Saturday at the Kentucky Derby, but you will see it throughout the weekend, what's happening with Derby Diversity Week, led by Tawana and Jade and their team.
When most people think of a Kentucky Derby, they think of mint julep drinks and they think of all the fashion, but you all are clearly operating with a purpose. Talk to us about some of the panels and the events and the summit that's taking place there and what you hope people will glean from that.
Well, let's be clear. My suit game is going to be strong these next few days.
You better tell him, right? Mr. Blake.
Well, I'm just saying we got to come strong. I mean,
that's right.
You can only see part of the fit right now.
How's your pocket square ministry? How's your pocket square ministry looking?
Look. I'm still an AME preacher as well, so my pocket square game's gonna be strong come this weekend. Hey, I'm just saying, talk to the church right now. So we gonna be ready. Come with the fit. I gotta figure out the new hat game for Saturday as well.
That's right.
But we'll be ready for that. But like even with the panels, there was something beautiful that happened just last night. We were down at 4th Street Live. It was the opening reception. AJ Calloway, DJ Trauma, so many people that were involved in what's going on. Shout out to Derek Bell and the president of the Alphas that are here as well. We saw that people wanted to talk about entrepreneurship. They wanted to talk about housing. They wanted to talk about education, but they just want to talk about being black, right? And the joy we have in being black. And so there was that responsibility. There's an exciting brunch that's happening next door and celebrating Black women excellence at the same time as well. There's going to be a sneaker ball later on tonight so that we can celebrate our culture. But then even intertwined in that has been the conversation, as we had earlier, around women in sports, around how do we make sure that the LGBTQIA community is embraced in the same way that Black and Brown is embraced in these conversations. So we want to show people it's not just kicking it on Saturday for the Derby. It's about putting in the work to make sure that our people have the support that we need. And when we talk about equity and justice at scale through conscious capitalism, that's exactly what's happening here throughout Louisville and the Kentucky Derby, but that's what's going to continue for upcoming sports activations as well.
Yeah, Mike, I love how you keep it real, you know. So let's do just that for the soulmates watching in. You talk about Black. Now, is the Kentucky Derby, the traditional folks, are they ready for us, the way we show up and do the Kentucky Derby? Are they really ready for that much diversity? Because we do it a little different.
I don't know. Are you ready? No, I don't know if anyone's ever fully ready for Black excellence, full stop, right?
Right.
So when you see all these folks showing up, they're like, well, wait a minute, and you got to remind them, no, this is not an HBCU meeting. No, it's not, it's not the Divine Nine. It's not just Black Greeks out here.
That's right.
We can show up for horse racing. We can be a part of the legacy here.
That's right.
And you can see it was important to setting that tone. And to Tawana Bain and what she set up, I think it sends a message, right, of you're not going to just have the Derby and not talk about diversity, right? You're not going to talk about what's going on in our country and not talk about sports. And we have a legacy with that, whether it be Muhammad Ali, whether it be Tommy and Carlos, whether it be what Serena is consistently doing around tennis. We're going to show people that Black excellence in sports is not just us dominating in the game, but it's dominating in society. And so the framing of what's going on around education, the framing of what's going on around entrepreneurship, but also doing it with the style that we have, right?
The image of the style that we used to.
No question. And reminding people every day, all day, Black history doesn't just happen in February.
Right.
Well, speaking of Black history, we know that Black history has been under attack across the country. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs have been under attack and rolled back. Why is DEI so important? Why are DEI efforts, particularly with the Kentucky Derby, in this particular moment in U.S. history, why is what you're doing so incredibly important as a symbol to the country during these really challenging times?
Well, it's essential. It's a great question. I appreciate that. Look, we see what's going on in Florida right now around Governor DeSantis' attack on Black and brown folk around DEI. We know that the anticipation in June around affirmative action and student loans with Supreme Court cases is also keeping us very up at night. And so when you have these moments and opportunities around sports, and especially these notable ones such as a Kentucky Derby, we have to show people that there is the responsibility and the necessity for your bottom line, for your societal good, and for your community by having Black folk in the conversation. And so we make more money when Black and brown people are involved. We have better grades when Black and brown people are involved. Less people are being incarcerated when Black and brown people are involved. And so the responsibility here is use these major moments, no different than if we were at the World Cup for soccer, no different than we were at the Super Bowl for football. You had earlier in the segment, the last Super Bowl being the highest rated ever. I don't think it's surprising you had 2 Black quarterbacks starting in that.
Right.
That impacts things, right? I think when you do that for a Derby, then we can show people we will not allow you to take away the impact of diversity, equity, and inclusion, no matter what courts and others may say. We're going to be a part of this. And so it was important for us to send that message and being consistent about that. Tied together, I often think about the power of what happens in telling the story. And that's why I'm so grateful for what you're doing at FOXSOUL. Like, we need people to see and hear it from our voices.
That's right.
And when they see our presence and recognize that, this is not just white people showing up here. Black folk love horse racing. Black folk love these sports as well, and making it real practical. The power of Louisville. If you're going to be here in Louisville, go check out the Ali Center.
That's
and,
right.
understand the dynamic that was going on, so we can really appreciate the greater good of what happens with Black excellence.
Absolutely.
Amen. We believe you are a preacher. We believe it.
Yeah, Michael Blake with Derby Diversity Week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna need to see you on my feed. I got to see how you coming. The hat, the suit, the pocket square. We got to check you out, man. Thanks so much for joining us today.
We'll be looking.
We'll definitely have you back
You're
too.
gonna be looking for me.
I will.
Follow me on IG. You're gonna see the fit on Saturday. We'll be ready.
Don't play. Don't play. Have a good one, Michael. Thanks so much. Be safe down there in
care.
Kentucky. Yep. Take care.
Thank you.
All righty.
Appreciate it.